This particular video is about where to post videos. Where can you post your videos? Making sure I'm live. Yes. Okay. All good. So whereabouts to post your videos. I'm going to cover the main social media platforms, and I get asked this question all the time. What do I do? Do I have to put them everywhere, or which one? Like, what do I do with video? Where do I post? Everyone's saying video, but where? It's just like so overwhelming. What do you actually do? So don't worry, we'll address all of these today, and I'll give you information and you can make your own decision. Okay, so the number one question, where do you post your videos? Let's look at that. So the answer to that is, where particularly does your ideal client like to hang out? Which platform do they like to hang out the most? An example of that is I had some Korean clients and they don't even use Facebook on Korea. I know everyone says everyone's on Facebook, but if you're targeting Korean people, they don't actually use Facebook. They really don't like it. They might have something on there, but they don't go on it often. They're not regularly on it. So you wouldn't really do Facebook ads if you were targeting people, or I'm talking about 40 years plus. This is who I've spoken to. That's who I work with, and they don't use Facebook. I'm not sure about the younger generation. So you'd look at other platforms for your video, like YouTube. A lot of them are on YouTube, and particularly if they were looking at certain coaching, if they were looking at improving their English, they all go to YouTube. So that would be your platform. So for you and your business, really know, where are they? Are you in a business? LinkedIn is a B2B, professional, corporate, like that's where people are hanging out in that business environment, would be LinkedIn. So think about that person, then think about the same person who hangs out on TikTok. It's like a completely different persona. I don't know hardly any LinkedIn people that would be on TikTok unless they're mucking around or watching their kids. So that's the answer to that question, like what platform are they hanging out? Are they searching on? Are they looking at? I always like to think about, what are they searching for? Where do they search for things? Because then then it brings it back to your video and your video title about how it can be found in search engine social platforms. Okay. So the next question, we're going to look at the differences, advantages, and disadvantages. So I want to break it up into the types of platform and how long your video lasts for. We have YouTube and Pinterest. You can get it grows sort of over time, because it's like a Google. It's a search engine platform. So with your videos on YouTube, some people's videos from 10 years ago are still ranking and still coming up and still getting views. Whereas imagine that same video if it was on a Facebook page 10 years ago. Can you imagine a video on a Facebook page from 10 years ago? Is it showing up? Is it getting views? Is it there? No, it's not, because the platforms are different and they're set up differently. So that's something to consider. And it doesn't mean all jump over and make videos on YouTube, because it takes a while before, or it doesn't have to. I actually did a video during COVID, a coronavirus one. I'm like, wash your hands. And I did one on Zoom video training during when COVID first hit as well. And like within a week, it had 2,500 views. So you can rank quickly, fast still, but it has to be cohesive within your channel. And so people would want to subscribe to your channel. So it keeps in that. A mistake that I have made with YouTube is I've changed videos all the time from different things, and so it didn't have that cohesiveness through it. So you live and you learn. What we're looking at, YouTube and Pinterest. Pinterest is something else with the pins, so they can keep showing up as well. They can keep popping up again over time. They have a longer lifespan, so they're like search engine places. Vimeo isn't really used as much, but it's there also as well. Then like TikTok and Snapchat, they're very fun. And then you have the whole stories that disappear after 24 hours. So that's a huge difference between YouTube. If you make a video, it's going to disappear after 24 hours as opposed to a YouTube video that's going to stay there. Then I've written here Instagram. So we have live, stories, and posts, and reels actually as well. So the posts are really good if people are, think about Instagram. If people are checking you out because they've seen you comment or they've seen a post under a hashtag, they're going to go to your profile. So you want, within that first section, people to really understand clearly what you do and get a good grasp of what you're all about. And then you would have also a link, something to download or consume in your bio and sort of around there, so they'd know straight away. So you're really wanting those type of videos on there. Like if it's a post and then the video pops up behind it, then that's helping build that connection and calling people in and asking them to go to your bio for that particular thing. Although stories and lives, even Facebook stories, like they seem to be getting more reach currently at this day. They're getting stories and reels, they're getting pushed out a bit more, like promoted. So we always have to look at what is the social platform doing, what's its preferences, how is it working, and then we change because digital marketing is always changing, platforms are changing. Groups used to get notified all the time, and then they've realized and then now groups, you may not get notified as much because they're always moving and evolving and changing. And what a strategy that's right for someone a year ago may not be right. Well, it may not be right for you at all ever, but it may definitely not be right for you now as things change. So be wary when people say, join my program on, this is how I made 6 figures from a Facebook group of 200 people. Still, that is possible, but maybe they did that 6 years ago when it was like everything was shown up and there weren't that many groups and there wasn't too many choices and people weren't fluttering around as much. So think about those sort of things as well. Anyway, getting off track. Back to, we've done our Facebook pages. The videos on Facebook pages, they are going to stay there. And that's a similar, I would think, to when I was speaking about Instagram. So if someone goes to stalk you, you kind of just want videos, pillar videos there so people understand, who is this person? What are they about? Do I want to like their page or download what they have to offer, or do I want to bounce? It's not actually going to show up later or anything like that. But it's like vital, sort of more foundational content for people to understand about you, what you're up to, and what you do. Usually shorter ones would be really good there, like no more than 3 minutes, just so people can understand. Then I did speak about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn also is a search engine. I'm not so sure about your posts and your video posts. There's hashtags that people can look for, but LinkedIn in itself is a search engine. So all your profile and description and that sort of thing should be optimized. And then your videos can get good reach because people aren't using it as much, but you need to understand that audience and make sure your videos are quite specific, on point, helpful, useful, and valuable to the people who you are putting it out for. It's a very different video than a TikTok video. Although sometimes I've thought, I'm going to try one of those on there because surely it must be boring. They get all these boring videos. I feel like spicing up LinkedIn a bit with a bit of like, something. But anyway, enough on that. So there we go. I've spoken about the different platforms. If there's any other platforms that you want to know about, just put it in the comments. Also put in what platform you would like to focus on. So it's always good to focus on one platform and then repurpose that video where you can in other places, done strategically, but to focus on the one initially, because it's just going to be so much easier for you. You're not going to burn out and be overwhelmed, and then you can focus the type of video for that platform as well, the style, the type, and really get one right and done really well.